Scene script. Have you ever wondered who were the first inhabitants of North America? A journey into the dawn of North American history takes us back around 30,000 years. Imagine a time when North America and Asia were connected by a vast land bridge, now submerged under the Bering Strait. It was across this bridge in the Ice Age that the first humans likely set foot on the continent, migrating from Siberia. These early pioneers, known as Paleo-Indians, braved the harsh, frozen landscapes, hunting large Ice Age mammals and gathering plants for sustenance. Over thousands of years, as the ice retreated, these nomadic tribes gradually journeyed south, inhabiting the vast expanse of North America. By the time the last glaciers had melted, North America was home to a diverse array of indigenous cultures. In the cold Arctic North, the Inuit people developed impressive survival skills for life in the extreme cold, while along the Pacific coast, tribes such as the Chinook became skilled fishermen and traders. In the fertile plains of the Midwest and the temperate forests of the East, tribes like the Sioux and the Iroquois cultivated crops and developed complex societies. Further south, the Mayans, Aztecs, and other Mesoamerican civilizations built grand cities, practiced sophisticated astronomy, and developed intricate calendars. These early societies had their own languages, spiritual beliefs, and artistic traditions. They were skilled hunters, farmers, builders, and traders, shaping the land and being shaped by it in return. They were the creators of the first North American cultures, a rich and diverse tapestry woven over thousands of years. From the Arctic tundra to the tropical jungles, from the Pacific coast to the Atlantic shores, North America was not a wilderness waiting to be discovered, but a vibrant, inhabited land with a history stretching back tens of thousands of years. Thus, the stage was set for a vast tapestry of cultures long before the Europeans set foot on the continent. So when did the Europeans enter the picture? Well, the first recorded European footsteps on North American soil belonged to the Vikings, under the leadership of Leif Erikson around the turn of the 11th century. They established a settlement known as Vinland, believed to be located in present-day Newfoundland. However, their stay was short-lived due to conflicts with the native population and harsh environmental conditions. Fast forward 5 centuries and we find Christopher Columbus, an Italian explorer sailing under the Spanish flag, making his mark on history. In 1492, Columbus set sail westward, hoping to find a new route to Asia, but instead he stumbled upon the islands of the Caribbean. Although he never actually set foot on the mainland of North America, his voyages opened the door for widespread European exploration and the eventual conquest of the Americas. But this exploration came at a devastating cost. The Europeans brought with them diseases like smallpox and measles, to which the Native American populations had no immunity. These diseases spread like wildfire, decimating tribes and contributing to the collapse of complex native civilizations. The Europeans, driven by a thirst for wealth and religious fervor, pushed further into the continent, exploring, colonizing, and altering the landscape. They established colonies, trading posts, and missions, spreading their influence and culture across the land. The Spanish in the south, the French in the north, and the English along the east coast each left their own distinct imprint on North America. The impact of this era of exploration was profound. It brought together the old world and the new in a collision of cultures, ideas, and life forms, a phenomenon often referred to as the Columbian Exchange. This exchange not only transformed the biological and cultural makeup of both continents, but also set the stage for the world as we know it today. The age of exploration would forever change the face of North America. What followed the exploration era? Well, let's dive right into the colonial era. This period was marked by the establishment of European colonies across North America, with powers such as Spain, France, and England vying for control of the New World. But for our purposes, we'll focus on the English colonies that would eventually become the United States. The early 17th century saw the English making their first permanent settlement in what is now the United States at Jamestown, Virginia in 1607. The colony faced many hardships, including disease, famine, and conflict with indigenous peoples. But despite these struggles, Jamestown survived, paving the way for further English colonization. As the 17th century progressed, so did the number of English colonies. Massachusetts, Maryland, Connecticut, and Rhode Island were all established, each with its own unique identity and purpose. Massachusetts, for example, was founded by religious dissidents seeking freedom from the Church of England, while Maryland was established as a haven for Catholics. The English colonies were a diverse lot with different religious beliefs, economic systems, and social structures. But they all shared a common thread: they were all under English control. The colonists were subject to English laws and regulations, and their primary economic role was to provide raw materials for the mother country. This relationship, however, was not always harmonious. Tensions began to rise between the colonists and the English government, setting the stage for future conflict. As we move into the 18th century, we see the English colonies growing in size and influence. Populations flourished, economies thrived, and cities like Boston, New York, and Philadelphia became bustling centers of commerce and culture. But even as these colonies prospered, they remained under the thumb of the English crown, a situation that would soon lead to discontent and rebellion. These colonies would soon find themselves at the heart of a revolutionary struggle. How did the United States come to be? This question brings us to a pivotal point in North American history. Our tale today centers around the latter part of the 18th century, when the spark of revolution ignited the hearts of 13 colonies, setting the stage for the birth of a nation. The American Revolution was no overnight event. It was a culmination of years of discontent, burgeoning from the oppressive British rule. Bubbling over with grievances, the colonies united under a common cause: the pursuit of liberty. Seeds of rebellion had been sown, and by the mid-1770s they were ready to bloom into full-fledged revolution. The first shots were fired in Lexington and Concord in April of 1775, marking the start of an 8-year-long war. Against all odds, the ragtag Continental Army, led by General George Washington, stood firm against the mighty British forces. The war was a grueling test of resilience and courage, but the colonists' thirst for freedom proved unquenchable. In the midst of the revolution, the seeds of nationhood were also being sown. Delegates from the 13 colonies convened in Philadelphia in 1776. In a hot, crowded room, they debated, drafted, and finally adopted a revolutionary document, the Declaration of Independence. Penned by Thomas Jefferson, it was a powerful assertion of the colonists' right to self-governance. The war raged on, but the tides turned in favor of the colonies with the decisive victory at Yorktown in 1781. 2 years later, the Treaty of Paris officially recognized the United States of America as a sovereign entity. But the birth of the nation wasn't complete yet. The fledgling country needed a constitution, a rule book, if you will. So, in 1787, the framers convened once again, drafting the United States Constitution, a monumental document that still guides the nation today. And so, in the late 18th century, a new nation was born. Named the United States of America, it was a beacon of hope and a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity's quest for freedom. So, how did North America evolve into the modern era? This is where our journey takes us next. The 19th century was a time of great tension and transformation. The United States, still a fledgling nation, was torn apart by a brutal civil war in the 1860s. The conflict was a struggle over the future of the country, a clash between different visions of society, and at its heart, a fight for the dignity of every human being. The end of the war brought about the abolition of slavery, a monumental step towards equality. But the struggle for equal rights was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. Fast forward to the 20th century, where 2 world wars would challenge the continent's resilience and reshape its role on the global stage. North America, particularly the United States, emerged as a superpower, a beacon of democracy and freedom in a world shaken by conflict. Yet even as it stepped onto the world stage, North America was grappling with its own internal struggles. The civil rights movement of the 1960s was a powerful testament to this. It was a time of profound social change, when ordinary people stood up against inequality and injustice, demanding their rights and forever altering the course of history. This movement, along with others advocating for women's rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and indigenous rights, helped to redefine what it means to be a citizen of North America. As we look back on these pivotal moments, we see not just a chronicle of events, but a story of a continent's journey towards a more inclusive, equitable future. It's a story of hope and heartbreak, of progress and setbacks, and of the enduring spirit of a people who continue to strive for a better tomorrow. The events of the past continue to shape North America today. Indeed, the echoes of history are all around us, in our culture, our politics, and our everyday lives. These are the threads that weave the rich tapestry of the North American story.